Hey guys, what's up? Evilzombie here. So today I want to talk to you about a book set I got from my daughter, who I'm trying to get a little bit more interested in Dungeons and Dragons, just kind of easing her into the world and trying to do it with all the numbers. Because, as you know, math is a big thing of Dungeons and Dragons. Math is a very big thing. So, I got the Young Adventurers collection for it, and I actually think it's really cool. This is a good idea. I love it. I've actually been reading these too because they're just well made. These I do suggest for kids. My daughter's 11, but anything from like maybe 8 and up, because they're really well done. They have on Amazon. They have like the $20 a set of 4 books, and this is a fantastic deal because normally individually each book costs like $10, $11. No, not all 5 books are in here. Beasts and Behemoths, I think it is. Yeah, Beasts and Behemoth is not in here. In here it has a Dungeons and Tools, Wizards and Spells, Warriors and Weapons, and Monsters and Creatures. I'll show you the artwork. It's pretty nifty. The artwork's cool. The cover has an owlbear fighting. Is that a gnome? Or that might be a dwarf. Maybe a dwarf ranger. On the back, you have a dragon fighting a wizard and a monk. Nope, probably a paladin. Anyways, it's cool artwork. This is a nice case. So first I want to talk about build quality, everything that comes in here. So it's packaged really well when you first get it. It's all shrink wrapped and all that's nice. Just the cover by itself. This is like really good, sturdy cardboard. Check that out. And you can compare even like to the thickness of my finger or anything. This is pretty good stuff. This feels... no, this is actually thicker than the cover of a normal D&D book. It honestly is. Oh, apparently the list price in the US is $33, but... or like 44 Canadian, my goodness. But Amazon has it cheaper, so that's where I got it. Anyways, I want to show you a little bit about the books. Now, these are all soft cover. So, as you can see, they bend. They're soft cover. They are written pretty well. They feel like you're holding a small, not like a magazine. It's like a thick magazine. They're like a very thick version of a magazine with a nice hard spine. The artwork is very good in this. Like I would say, the artwork's possibly on par with the real books. I mean, the artwork's just a delight to see some of the cool pictures they come across. I'm not gonna show you all of it just so you go buy it, but there's just all kinds of cool pictures for the kids to see. This one's Dungeons and Tombs, and this is probably the most useful thing ever because it tells them what's inside a dungeon, like what creatures, how you put together a dungeon, and just like what concepts there are, like what kind of creatures made the dungeon. Was it a forgotten civilization, dwarves, elves, goblins, smugglers? Or what kind of location is it? Behind a waterfall, in a graveyard, in a mountain? All kinds of different ideas for the kids to learn from. So, I mean, sure, this is just so you know what kind of pictures they have. There's no blood, but skeletons. You're going to see skeletons and spooky stuff. So, for any of you more conservative, don't want your kids to see that stuff. And of course, who knows? If they play enough, maybe the kids will just end up all looking like this. They'll be complete in their character. LARPing is the ultimate goal, right? Anyways, that's probably the most useful, practical use book because it teaches you how to build like an adventure in a dungeon. Moving on to the second one, Wizards and Spells. I'll keep these inside here. As I finish them, I'll put them in there. So the Wizards and Spells, and they have a description on the back for each book. It's pretty nifty. And these are actually licensed by Wizards. That one I just realized. So these are officially licensed. That's cool. It's not just like a fan-made thing for it. But the Wizards and Spells is pretty handy. It teaches you a bit about wizards, here's a page I opened up to write on wizards. What cantrips are, how you can use them, lots of different things. Like what different spells do, like their practical uses, like mirror image, what it does, web. It doesn't have like every single spell, but it has a lot of stuff, and it really helps them understand what magic does in the game. And it has cool pictures that your kids will probably enjoy. But that's pretty much what that book is, just different ways, and it even has a section at the end on how to use magic. That one's pretty handy. The Warriors and Weapons I thought was pretty cool. The coolest one to me was the monsters and creatures, but I'll get to that in a second. The Warriors and Weapons talks about the different races, like dwarves or elves, just all the different people, tells you what kind of attributes they have. Talks about weapons, of course, like what kinds of different swords they are, what traits those are, what they look like. Pole arms. Other different kinds of weapons, like if there's axes or hammers, what kind of people would use those, what kind of special weapons there could be, armor types. It's very handy. What would be in your normal adventurer's pack. So it tells them basically all the gear that you can do in the game and who can use it. And that's pretty handy. But this one is probably my favorite. My daughter likes this one. She likes to look at the pictures mostly. She'll go through and then read the descriptions on the creatures and be like, oh, I didn't know that. I think that's really cool. But this one is like more kid-friendly, no number monster manual, more or less. Anyways, I'm just going to show you a little. Like, they have the different various creatures in the series, some night, and where they're from, of course. Oh, wait, which page? This one. Where they're from. Like, Treant. You can have Ents, and that's so cool. And it says, like, do this with them, don't do this with them. It kind of describes where they're from, what abilities they have, how big they are. It has, like, a chart for every creature in the entire book. So you see their next to everything, like a storm giant, the biggest creature in the game. In here, it's like the biggest thing ever. No, the biggest, probably something like Tiamat or something. But, yeah, it shows you a lot of different things like that. Vampires. I saw something about, oh yeah, they even have Strahd. That's cool. My daughter will be able to understand the story. I have the box of Strahd back there. But that's cool. Like, they have Strahd and they have, like, descriptions on what he's like and what he can transform into. Just cool things like that. But this is a really cool book. Even if you just get them one, get them this one, because it just shows them the cool, wonderful things in the world. And not just the scary things. It has, like, unicorns and stuff like that in there, too. It's, like, the coolest thing ever. My daughter actually loved that book. And they all fit back in there pretty well. The paper feels like good quality. The covers feel like pretty good quality. I don't feel like anything's going to get damaged too easily. They're not hardcover. Just be wary of that. But this case is pretty hardcore for them. So I'm really pleased with that. My daughter likes it. And yeah, we're happy with that. Would I recommend this? Yes. Who would I recommend this to? Parents and kids. You'll like this. It's a good way to get into the world. And just to kind of share with them your hobby without saying, okay, get your pens and pencils ready and your calculator and your note cards. No. This way you can at least get them interested in the creatures and the building blocks of this world. And that's what it's for. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully I was informative. Okay, bye.